What's up guys, Polk here. Today we're going to be talking about LUXcoin, which is a current up-and-coming currency that I think has a lot of potential. But before we talk about that, we're going to be doing things by the books here on this channel, and that means we're going to be making a healthy amount of disclaimers first. I have not received any compensation for the creation of this video. However, I am invested in the currency itself. I have purchased some LUXcoins before, so if the currency does increase in value, it does benefit me, so keep that in mind. Also remember that this channel is for information and entertainment. I am not a financial advisor and all investments have inherent risk. If you're someone who doesn't like the idea of someone promoting what they're invested in, by all means, I understand where you're coming from, but I also do want to give my opinion on some up and coming projects that I do think have a lot of value. Finally, if you're a developer who thinks that their upcoming project has a lot of potential, you can email me what you're doing at upcomingcryptoprojects@gmail.com. Now, I'm not going to be paid to promote anything, so if that's what you want, I'm not interested, but I am interested in investing in projects that I think one day have the potential to be huge. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into taking a look at LUXcoin. LUXcoin is a hybrid proof-of-stake, proof-of-work coin that also implements many other technological advances such as Segwit, Masternodes, and smart contracts all into one platform. That sentence might be a rather large bite for some of our newer viewers to chew, so let's actually jump in and take a look at some of these individual components. There are two main ways in which cryptocurrencies can be transferred, and that's through either proof-of-work or proof-of-stake. Proof-of-work is something we're all a little more familiar with, but essentially miners compete to solve an equation and the first person that solves it gets the reward for that block. While proof of work is more common, it does come with its own subset of problems. First off, it requires a lot of electricity generally to make these things run, and that's actually one of the biggest problems with Bitcoin right now, is just the pure amount of energy being consumed in order for people to be able to mine Bitcoin. Another issue is as coin rewards drop, it might make more sense for miners to move over to mining more profitable coins, and that can have a bad effect on the network. Proof of stake or staking uses a different method. Rather than having people compete to see who can solve something first, the next block is chosen in a random way or in a set determined way on the network. While it depends on the currency, these blocks are generally chosen by either age of account or by wealth in the account. So this opens up a whole new problem, which is certain accounts end up having a lot more power, and those are people. So only a few people end up having a much stronger control of the network than in a proof-of-work system. Now, proof-of-stake advocates might argue that unless a currency is ASIC resistant, then it does end up becoming centralized as well because certain miners end up with a lot of the power. That argument makes some sense, but with currencies that are ASIC resistant, that becomes less of a problem, and LUXcoin actually is ASIC resistant. Without a doubt, both processes that facilitate transactions have their own issues. But some coins have gone above and beyond and are trying to implement hybrids that allow the coin to use both systems. Probably the currently most notable hybrid coin is Decred, and while I don't own any of it, I do like what they're working on. LUXcoin uses its own algorithm, Fee1612, that allows mining to be ASIC resistant and isn't really used by any other currencies. It's also highly efficient, which allows for higher hash rates while lowering energy consumption. According to LUXcoin's white paper, LUXcoin's proof of stake is a static reward system, not a dynamic one. A dynamic system rewards a percentage based on the amount of coins a user holds in their wallet, which can cause those that hold less to wait days or even weeks for rewards. This system rewards a static 1 Lux to all individuals staking regardless of the amount of coins held in the wallet. Those that hold more coins are rewarded more often. This allows for all individuals staking to be rewarded without long waiting times due to large weight of others. They're trying to level out the playing field here for the smaller accounts so the big ones don't just dominate when it comes to staking. However, the big ones still do get rewarded more often, so while it might curtail this problem, there still is upside for people that have more Lux. Now that we've talked about LUXcoin's hybrid proof-of-work, proof-of-stake system, let's move over and talk about some of the other technological advancements that they're trying to implement. If you're familiar with Litecoin or Bitcoin, then you would know what Segwit or segregated witness is. Segwit is the name used for an implemented soft fork change in the transaction format of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, which has also been implemented on currencies such as Litecoin, Digibyte, Vercoin, and whatever the hell this coin is. The way that Segwit works is that it hides increased block size by changing the definition of a block to be measured as 1 million units instead of bytes. It also addresses signature malleability by moving signatures out of the transaction data, making them impossible to change. The transaction ID is no longer malleable. This makes Bitcoin safer to use with Lightning Network, a way to speed up small payments by bundling them and only writing to the blockchain at the beginning and end of their execution, which would be slightly risky while the malleability problem still exists. So Segwit is going to help Bitcoin implement the Lightning Network, which will be much quicker and cheaper for transactions. A lot of people have been requesting a video on the Lightning Network, and we're going to do that in some other video, but for now I want to stay focused on talking about LUXcoin. So what Segwit essentially does is it increases the block size limit, and it also allows for second layer solutions for further improvement. Another cool aspect of Lux is that it incorporates masternodes. Now you might know masternodes from Dash or Pivx or Block, but the way that Lux masternodes function are a little bit different. We'll get into those differences here in a sec, but first off, there are some similarities. For starters, you're going to need a lot of this currency in order to get one of these masternodes up and running, as well as a decent amount of technical know-how. The Lux white paper also talks about its masternodes. Any computer mining Lux or staking Lux is considered a node or a connection to the blockchain network. The more nodes, the stronger the network. A masternode is a 24/7, 365 dedicated server connected to the blockchain network, which adds an additional layer of stability and 2 additional levels of functionality to the network. The additional functions are 1. Near instant transactions, and 2. LUXsend. LUXsend is a form of coin mixing that provides an additional layer of privacy. To run a masternode, a user is required to have 16,120 Lux in a wallet. If any of you are fans of the cryptocurrency Dash, some of this stuff might sound pretty familiar. Dash has almost exactly the same thing going on with their platform. They have masternodes, and they also have both private send and instant send. Having the ability to send money instantly or privately are very valuable features of the currency. That's something that I wish we had with Bitcoin, and we do see with both Dash and, of course, Lux. This is where things start to get a little bit different, though, from Dash. LUXcoin has the capacity for parallel masternode networks, providing a public network and a private network running simultaneously on the LUXcoin blockchain and connected to each other through the LUX gate. This is a new and revolutionary concept in blockchain technology. In addition to LUXsend, the coin mixing service provided by the Lux Masternode network, which is an improvement on the CoinJoin concept first proposed by Gregory Maxwell, there is an additional security and privacy option within the wallet called Stealth Address. A receiver can create a stealth address with the click of a button in the wallet. The wallet generates an untraceable link to the receiver's wallet, therefore blocking the sender or a third party from seeing the balance in the wallet. This is an extra privacy feature that I think is a cool advantage to LUXcoin. This also allows you to transfer funds based around threat levels. This is the terminology that Lux is using to determine how you want to transfer the coins. And they have levels 1 through 4, which basically are how private the transaction is. Now, what LUXcoin's trying to do next is really one of the reasons why I think that they might find a way to work with large institutions like banks or governments that some of the other privacy coins simply can't do. The parallel masternode network is a second separate network running on the LUXcoin blockchain. It uses the SAM protocol and I2PD technology to doubly enhance its encryption. Unlike the masternodes on the public network, the masternodes on the parallel network will be reserved for verified institutions. Banks, businesses, and governments will be vetted before they can purchase a parallel masternode. Individual users will have access to the I2PD parallel network, but they will not be able to own a masternode on that network. One of the key security features of the I2PD parallel network is that all IP addresses connected to the network will be encrypted, and the network will auto-change the IP addresses similar to a virtual private network or a VPN. LUXgate is going to be the connection between the two networks so that if you are using LUXcoin, you would be able to transfer between the two networks seamlessly. If there's anything negative that I'd have to say about LUXcoin, it's that I'm not entirely sure if this direction is going to work, because here's the thing. I think privacy coins, which LUXcoin absolutely is, that's one aspect of it. Privacy coins are something that I think governments are going to be a little more against rather than in favor of. So while it's cool to say, hey, governments, let's work together, if at the same time people can use this currency to send and receive without knowing who anyone is, and it's all very private and you can't find that information, it sends kind of mixed signals to me on what they're trying to achieve. So maybe you could argue they're trying to do too much, or maybe you could argue that by trying to get other governments and institutions involved, this is a way of trying to curtail that problem. I could see it going either way. LUXcoin also uses smart contracts, which means if-then statements on transactions. Certain criteria have to be fulfilled. If they are fulfilled, then the order is executed. This is the basis for platforms like Ethereum or Neo or Cardano. It's the same thing, but it's here on LUXcoin. Essentially, what LUXcoin boils down to is it's a hybrid of many of the components I like about different currencies. I like the Masternode elements that it has, kind of similar to Dash or Pivx. I like the smart contracts aspect, like something like Ethereum. I also like the privacy function, like a lot of the privacy coins. To be honest with you, I love what they're doing across the board. I also like their hybrid between proof of work and proof of stake. In a way, you could think of LUXcoin kind of like a Litecoin, Pivx, Cardano, ARC, Decred, sort of hybrid of all of these things together, where they're taking some of the best aspects of other currencies and trying to put them all under one umbrella. So we've talked about a lot of its upsides. Let's talk about some potential downsides. For starters, only about a fourth of the coins are actually in circulation, which is probably going to be driving the price up. And if some of these coins are released, then it might hurt the ecosystem of the currency. Additionally, there are only around 4 million coins in total supply right now, but its max supply is 60 million once all mining is finished. So there will be way more coins down the road, and that might also hurt its value over time. The counter argument there is that it's not going to be like that for some time, but it's still something to be aware of. Another negative is similar to the other privacy coins. I could see governments not being happy about these stealth functions. Now, again, Lux is trying to kind of curtail that by appealing to these institutions, but I'm not completely sold that that aspect's going to work. So if there's ever a crackdown on privacy coins, that would include something like Lux. A final con is that the market cap is small, and because of that, it's more risky, as well as the fact their product is ambitious, which if they can't implement certain aspects of it could be a problem down the road. As far as the upsides go, we've kind of been through most of them, but they are taking a lot of the best aspects of some of the biggest currencies. They're fixing a lot of the problems that those currencies have faced. They're trying to find ways to add in institutions, and I overall like the general ecosystem of the coin. One last positive is a lot of the coins in circulation are being used for masternodes, which really tells me these are people that are planning on holding for the long term and thus should add some more stability to the price. Let's take a look at the chart of LUXcoin since it began trading. LUXcoin began trading in late October at around $2 a coin, and now we've seen it gone all the way up to around 30 bucks. Now, it peaked at something like 45.50, and then of course we had the crash a few days ago, and it got hammered as well, as most of the other coins did too. I really hate when people start to say estimates for we could see this guy at 100, I'm thinking 200, guys. It's kind of made up bullshit, but I do think you could see how this price could get a lot bigger from here if it does start to get picked up more mainstream. At this small of a market cap, it's still completely possible to see a 5 or 10x or bigger if it finds implementation into the more mainstream cryptocurrency arena. In summary, LUXcore is trying to position themselves as one of the premier places for blockchain solutions. LUXcoin is their public currency that's on the main network, and they're also going to have products for institutions to help them as well. I want to thank everybody for joining today, and I'm going to try and share good projects as I come across them. If you're interested in more information on LUXcoin, you can check out the link in the description below.